Hello, everyone. Today's episode, I wanted to talk about 5 money lies that I believed and what I believe now. Hopefully, that will help you unpack some myths that kept me stuck and maybe have also kept you stuck, and also some tools on how to finally move forward. So let's be honest, we've all believed things about money that turned out to be completely false. All right. Sometimes it comes from family, sometimes from society, sometimes from just well meaning advice that just doesn't hold up in the real world. So we're not going to shame it, but we go and journey through life and go, what was I thinking? Or why did those people tell me that? It is just so wrong. So, in this video, I'm sharing 5 of the biggest money lies that I've believed over the years, and most importantly, what I believe now after mentoring hundreds of professionals, making my own mistakes, and rebuilding my relationship with money from the inside out. Because you know what? If I don't practice it, how do I preach it to others, right? So, lie number one was that I just need to earn more money. All right. So for years, I thought if I could only just earn more, everything would be just better, which I learnt the hard way because income doesn't always solve everything. All right. You can earn 6 figures and still live paycheck to paycheck, although we don't get checks anymore, but you know my drill. If you don't know how to manage your money, all right, just because you earn more, you can then start going, oh, well, because I earn more, I can spend more. So it's very easy to, yes, earn more, but then also have a lifestyle that inflates with your income. So we've got to be really careful about that. It sneaks up on you. You suddenly go, oh, yeah, like I used to have to worry about every cent. And then suddenly, as you may get those pay rises, those opportunities, you suddenly get some more income coming in. It's like, why aren't I saving? This was supposed to make my life so much easier. So, what I believe now is that it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep and how much you manage and how much you grow. So, wealth isn't about a number, it's actually about a behavior. Lie number two, I'm not just a numbers person. I used to think that. I even got told it from my dad, my beautiful darling dad, who's passed on. And he used to say, Annie, you're just not good with numbers. You're not a maths person. You don't have a financial head. He had all these blanket statements. And while he really, really affirmed me in so many ways, I actually just went, oh, I don't even tell people, yeah, I'm not good at maths. Yeah, I'm just not a numbers person. Crazy. I just believed it like a blanket statement truth. I don't know where it came from. Maybe I bombed out on an exam one day. Who's to say? But it doesn't actually write me off for life. But I told myself this for years, and I even told other people this for years. In fact, I went and said, gee, I want to become a CEO one day, but this is going to be the biggest stumbling block of why I probably won't make it. Like crazy stuff like that. So I avoided looking at my bank accounts because I thought I'll just glaze over, something like a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet. I thought that's just not going to be for me. I skimmed over my budget when I really should have known what was in it. I felt anxious actually anytime the topic of money or understanding figures came up. But that story kept me stuck. It made me actually hide, maybe become less confident, less competent, and it made me sort of actually live in a lie because I wasn't understanding the truth. So I was avoiding behavior, I wasn't learning and growing, and I was also missing out and potentially misleading others if I'm sharing that money. And so, yeah, that's not a good place to be. So, what I believe now is that you don't have to be a numbers person, all right? You just have to care enough to pay attention. Money management is a skill, it's not a personality trait. And like any skill, it gets easier and easier the more you practice. All right. So it's one of those, just get your head into your figures. And it doesn't mean you need to go, oh, now I just love figures and spreadsheets and maths. No, you just want to be able to be confident about, okay, I've got revenue in, I've got expenses out, how am I tracking with that? How much profit am I making? What am I doing with that profit? It's not a huge thing. To have a weekly budget is not a huge thing. So rather than avoid it and go, oh, this isn't my area, make it your area. It needs to be everyone's area. And it doesn't mean that some people aren't good at it. Everybody can manage their finances. Lie number 3, that debt is normal and everyone has it. So I used to think that debt was just part of being an adult. All right. You get a credit card, you might have some credit card debt. You get a car loan, you think, oh, well, I really need this, so I'll use Afterpay. And also that, well, everyone else seems to be doing it, so it should be okay. All right. But normal doesn't mean healthy. It is true that many people live in debt. This is a different type of debt than I'll talk about intentional debt, and we'll do that on other episodes of this channel. But today it's about saying, would I actually buy something and deliberately get into debt and use Afterpay? So, for example, so debt might be common in this way, but it doesn't mean that it should be accepted. And it's certainly not a life sentence. So even if you've come from a family that was always paying off a credit card, always paying off debt that they really never got on top of, it doesn't mean, it's not like a genetic thing. It doesn't mean that it's then going to be part of who you are and your story. All right. So what I believe now is that living with debt doesn't actually have to be your default behavior. It shouldn't be anyone's default behavior. It's something that happened. It might be a habit. It's easy enough to be aware of that and then find solutions to be able to work your way out of that habit and then stop it. There's definitely a path out, and peace comes when you are in control, and yeah, of your finances and what you spend and how much you're in debt. It is worth so much. So definitely reach out if you need help there. Lie number 4 is that it's too late for me to start over. And I get this with many people that I've coached, maybe over, 55, 60, and they go, oh, well, I've blown it. I haven't got enough super now, or I haven't made those changes in my life. So it's probably I won't worry about it now. And it's like, don't worry, but do act. All right. So this one's really hits hard, right? If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you feel like you've wasted time, you've wasted money. But like, here's the truth, right? It's not too late. It's never too late. You are not too far gone in this game, right? Game of life. Any time is the right time for you to get started. All right. That's what I believe now. The best time to start was probably years ago. Yes, it is. As soon as you start earning, if you can keep on track of it and really start getting some coaching and getting some systems in place, yes, that is the best time. But the second best time is probably today. All right. Every healthy financial decision you make is going to compound over time. So, yes, they would have been compounding from your 20s, but even if you start now, 40, 50, it's still going to compound over time and you're going to have more than you would have if you didn't act today. So, no matter what your age, get started. And line number 5 is that money somehow makes you selfish. Now, this was a big one for me. I used to think, oh, I don't want to, I actually don't want to earn a lot, or I don't want to be really rich, because then I'd have pride or I'd feel guilty. And is it right that I used to ponder a lot, and I still do actually, just about the value of financial freedom. I told you in my first episode, just this sort of strong connection I had with my grandmas. And then I went, well, is this a bad thing? Am I being greedy? Am I being materialistic? Is it right? But this belief, if I play it out, it really does then just keep me small. It goes and says, Annie, just get the minimum, just get enough, right? But me being more profitable, really extending myself and seeing where that can go in not just financial areas, in all areas of life and development, then that allows me to grow and to grow into this person I was born to be, as you should. But if we actually sort of turn it around and go, well, I don't want that in case I became greedy, in case I became materialistic, in case I look down on others or whatever, then that is always going to put you in a position of staying very small and not growing. It actually makes you shrink, all right? And so it's just not the way to go. It will make you, overgive. It'll make you overwork. It will make you under earn. And that's just crazy. All right. So what I believe now is that money is a tool. It's also a gift. It's a gift that does change your life when you have it. You can choose how to use it. But most importantly, it's a tool. And when good people have more of it, they get to do more good things. And that's my view. If I can, working for an organization, if I can help them make more money, then they have more money to do more good things. They could also just pop it in the bank, do nothing. They could also waste it, unfortunately. And I hope they don't do that. They won't do that under my watch. All right. But, we all have choices, no judgment there. But the theory is that the more money you make, you then have more choices. And then it's to do with your own moral code. It's your own desires of what you want to do with that money. And I tell you what, I think it's in a wonderful position when you can have enough finances that you can choose intentionally to help others or to get involved in different projects or to invest in, what the place or the visions that you've had for lifestyle. It might also then to be able to help family. Whatever it is, it's choice. Financial freedom comes with choice. So wanting freedom and security and options is definitely not selfish. It's smart. And it's definitely your right to pursue it, and you shouldn't feel any guilt or shame over that. So we've all built money stories, right? And many of them are built on outdated advice or fear or even just survival because of the person's experience that they had, what their money experience and story was that they've passed on to you. But it's just a person's story. And sometimes it's very unfortunate, but it doesn't mean that just because you've observed or lived that experience, it needs to stay there for you. All right. The good news is we can all rewrite our stories at any time. All right. It's just getting that clarity around and awareness around, well, why did I believe that? Why do I believe that? And is that right or not? So you can change your beliefs. You can change your story. You can choose to have a new narrative, a new path start today. So if any of those money lies sounded familiar, I want you to know that you're definitely not alone. All right. I believed many of them too. I know so many people's stories of they say things, they go, that's crazy, isn't it? And I go, yeah, it is. It is a bit crazy. But there's such strong blanket statements that people share with us, and they're so limiting and not healthy. So know that you can do better. All right. I know you can. Definitely, we're going to keep talking about this every episode. So subscribe if you haven't already, because each week I am breaking down some real strategies, having some conversations with you to help you. And it's all about you feeling more confident, more informed, more in control of your financial future. And if you're comfortable, share in the comments. I love your sharing. So, what is one money lie that you used to believe, or you still believe and struggle over? Love to hear that. Let's get some dialogue happening. So, let's start changing our conversation one step at a time. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.